For the first time in 30 years, the Dallas Cowboys are victorious on the road in the NFL playoffs. 31-14, the final score. The Cowboys, that score's flipped. It's the Cowboys on top. 31-14, the final here from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium and Raymond James Stadium in Florida. The Cowboys win it. Welcome in to the First Word, presented by Dr. Pepper. Don't get it twisted. The Cowboys won that game, despite what that final score just said. Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. We're live from the Star in Frisco. And gentlemen, what else can you say about the Cowboys? All three phases, maybe two of the three. Brett Maher had some struggles kicking the football, but for the most part, it was a complete team win for the Dallas Cowboys. Got out early, at one point led 31-6 against the Cowboys, and Nate, they got the job done.
You know, we were so excited going into this game and talking about who the keys of the game, and mine was that offensive line to play well. I think my boy Peterson went out late in the third quarter, but they went back to the normal lineup with Tyler Smith at that left tackle. They finished the game. They kept Dak clean. He stayed tall. I got my old rookie Dak back.
You definitely got your rookie Dak back. This dude had to show up and play a heck of a game, and he did exactly that. This guy came out, had 4 touchdowns throwing, 0 turnovers. Did you hear the last stat?
0
turnovers. When you have that Dak, and he was seeing everything. He was seeing the defense. He was seeing the fronts. He was seeing the blitzes, and he was making the right decisions. That was the biggest thing that I wanted to see from him after this last half of the season where he struggled over the last 7 games, having at least 1 interception. He made the right decisions, and he made them based off of what he was seeing, trusted his eyes, did a great job. And then defensively, they found a way to get some pressure on Tom Brady. And because of that, he had happy feet, a lot of incompletions. Those guys did a great job today.
Let's start on the offensive side of the football, and it starts with Dak Prescott. 25 of 33 passing, 305 yards, and he had 5 total touchdowns, 4 through the air. He becomes the 3rd quarterback in franchise history to throw for 4 touchdowns in a playoff game. Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman were the other 2 to do it. Nate, what made Dak successful today?
Just playing with instincts. And like Isaiah said, he saw the field. Isaiah would call something, he would throw. It's in the flats. It's down the middle. It's over the top. And then when he moved around just enough to find Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz had a super nice day. Great job by Dak just being free? Is free the word? I mean, he didn't play tense. After the first couple of 3 series, it seemed like he loosened up. He just played free.
He was having fun. And we know whenever Dak gets into 2-minute situations, he starts really playing at a fast pace. And, and regardless of the speed of the game, he starts playing fast. He starts playing with confidence. You see him start barking out different assignments, whether it be the protections and the routes and the concepts. And you see him, he's just flowing. He gets into this vibe of the game. And when he's playing like that, he is playing free, Nate. He's making decisions. He's not second guessing himself. Early on in the year, we saw him, and not even really the second half of the year, you saw him double pumping on things, right? Kind of indecisive on the decisions, but not today. Today he was very decisive. You seen blitzes coming. He went there, threw very accurate balls at that as well, and he took what the defense gave him until the end of the game. But he took what the defense gave him, and that's why these guys were able to move the ball as effectively as they were.
What a game it was for the Cowboys offense. I really quickly want to hit on the defense before we go back out to Raymond James Stadium. But talk about what made them successful. They got after Tom Brady. They didn't allow the screen game to hurt them. The nickel and dime wasn't there really throughout 3 of the 4 quarters. And then finally, whenever Tampa Bay found some offensive rhythm, it was too late.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the week with some of our other shows, right? We kind of broke it down in terms of what they could not allow Tom Brady and this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense to do, and that was to have space. Our defensive backs walked up and created pressure at the line of scrimmage. You talk about Israel Mukuamu giving move from the safety position over to the quarterback position and showed up in a major way today. Trayvon Diggs showed up in a major way. These guys made it hard for these guys to get off the ball, and then by doing that, you throw off their timing. You don't allow Tom Brady to sit back there and just throw the ball on easy out routes all day long. The defensive line was able to be effective. That combination right there worked out for them.
You know, it just seemed like they were miscued a lot. I'm talking about the Tampa Bay offense. Mike Evans and these guys couldn't find their rhythm with Tom. And as the game went on, it got worse and worse, like I said, until the end. We got to learn how to close out. But you know what? This is a big victory, and these guys handle their business.
The last time they won a road playoff game, Nate Newton was suiting up for the Dallas Cowboys.
I think my son was probably about 4 years old.
Yeah.
My oldest boy, yeah.
About 6 months ago, something.
Yeah,
How about
about
yeah.
that?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Lord, Jesus, I'm married.
It was a phenomenal game for the Cowboys on the road at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Let's go check in with Nick Eatman and Patrick No C. Walker following the 31-14 win.
What's up, guys? Raymond James Stadium here. This is Patrick No C. Walker. I'm Nick Eatman. This is the first time in 30 years the Cowboys have won a road playoff game. They beat them down. They beat them down pretty good. What do you think, Pat?
Oh, it was absolute humiliation at the hands of Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Defensively, they came to play. Micah and that defense was cooking. Dak Prescott, talk about resiliency. Masterful bounce-back game for Dak Prescott.
Without a doubt. I thought Dak was the key. Running the ball. To me, he looked like old Dak again. Running, diving, making plays. And when that happens, it just loosens everything up. And like you said, that defense, maybe was this Tom Brady's last game? If it is, we'll see. It's been an unbelievable career, but he was not on his game today.
He wasn't. Tom Brady was not allowed to get comfortable at any point in the game. We heard a lot about Tom Brady getting a very quick release, and that's how he wins against teams. The Cowboys kept forcing him into 3rd and long, and they took advantage of that in the pass rush.
They sure did. Going back to offense, I thought Dalton Schultz would be a factor. I didn't think he'd be that much of a factor, but he was. But he was making some great plays underneath, big time. You know, he's been Dak's security blanket, but he was making some plays down the field.
Dalton Schultz had a career game, and in the biggest moment for both himself and the Cowboys offense. You talk about what he was doing in the passing attack. Also, in the blocking game, run plays, pass plays, he was getting his hands dirty, springing guys like Tony Pollard, springing other guys. Dalton Schultz was the complete package tonight.
All right, with all the good stuff, there's always a little negative here. Let's start with the kicker. We haven't seen Brett Maher miss extra points like that until last week, and then he misses 4 more. Are you concerned at all? I mean, you have to be somewhat concerned, but he did make this last one.
You have to be a little bit concerned anytime your kicker, who's had a fantastic year, misses 5 consecutive going back to the Washington Commanders in Week 18. He was able to kind of right the ship a little bit. All the Cowboys can hope for is that his confidence is back after making that final point after and carry that into San Francisco.
Maybe you're good luck because this is your first playoff game here and they get the win. I'll tell you this, and I'm sure you know this. 49ers and Cowboys have a little playoff history, not only last year, but way back, especially the Cowboys going back to San Francisco. I know we'll talk about it all week. Initial thoughts, though, on that matchup.
Dare I say the rivalry is reborn in the NFC between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. 49ers a good team, even with Brock Purdy. He's been playing special. The Cowboys, though, they've now heated up, and they've shown what they can do when they don't beat themselves. It's going to be a good one out at Levi's.
All right, Cowboys get their first win against Tom Brady, first playoff win in 30 years, and the first win with these blue jerseys in the playoffs since Roger Staubach was the quarterback in 1978. They didn't care about any of that stuff. They beat the Buccaneers handily in this game. They're moving on in the playoffs in the next round. We'll see you next time on DallasCowboys.com.
Thank you very much, Nick and Patrick out there in Tampa, Florida. Let's wrap things up on the first word with what they just talked about. San Francisco, Dallas, once again in the playoffs. A chance to go to the NFC title game on the line next Sunday, 5:30 p.m. kickoff on Fox. What's your first thought when looking at these two teams in a rematch of the wild card round a year ago?
Black and blue, physical. Looking to get in the cold tub after it's over. I mean, if you go up there, it's only it's not how pretty it's gonna be. It's how bad you can beat the next man. And I hope we have on all white uniforms and they have on they all red. You know what I'm saying? Because this thing gonna be bloody, man. That's what I'm thinking about. Physical.
Goodness.
The first thing that came to my mind is exactly that. And they are physical. It's about let's get physical.
Yes.
Physical.
I don't think it's going to sound as cheerful.
It's going to be just like that.
Right.
These teams don't like each other, okay? And I can tell you one team doesn't like one more than the other. And that's the Dallas Cowboys. They want some get back. They want some payback. Majority of this roster is back from last year. So they remember this, right? Those battle scars, those are wounds that these guys want to definitely heal up. And the only way that you can heal that up is by going out there and beating some 49ers. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, there's going to be a chip on the shoulder for both teams trying to get back to the NFC Championship game. Cowboys, it's been a lot longer since they were in an NFC title game, but they ended a streak today. 8 straight road playoff losses, done. 30 years of road playoff misery, out of the window. You finally beat Tom Brady, and by the way, the Cowboys 1-0 all-time against Tom Brady in the playoffs. That does it for us here on The First Word, presented by Dr. Pepper. We'll leave you with some of the final stats as the Cowboys take down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-14 in the wild card round here in 2023. For Nate Newton and Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. More post-game coverage on the way on DallasCowboys.com and Valley Sports Southwest. that's it for the first word. We'll see you next week.